Spread them. I mean,
Hello everybody, welcome back to another MCU ranking. It's been a little bit since the last one, that's because we had a lot of stuff to get through in this phase. So Jackson unfortunately did have to dip right after we did Endgame.
you're fake.
Fake fan.
Fake fans.
But he's actually going to record another episode of his Man to Man podcast.
Go check it out.
Go check it
Check
out.
it out.
Links, no, never mind.
Check it
I mean,
out.
by the time this goes up, that and probably week 4 or
Links in
episode
the-
4
links
might
in the
be out because
description.
it's going to be a minute before this goes up. Actually no, this will probably go up this weekend. So we're here with a ranking of all Phase 3, the best phase in the MCU because there isn't a bad movie.
There's no bad
There's
movie
no bad
in this,
movies.
and
I
it's
used
not
to think that one of these was a bad movie, but I grew up.
Yeah. So this is the collective ranking of all 3 of our rankings. So the ranking more lines up with the 2 of them. I will talk about my slight disagreements.
You can
but even
try to
then,
present your
the
case.
disagreements
You
are
can
just
present
by
yourself. I mean,
one. The disagreements that I have are just like by one spot.
thing is, a lot like in these phases, like in the first 2. This one I will say, like me and Logan, you did compromise more than we did, but the first 2, there's even we're gonna compromise on these. Like one, yeah.
So what do we have at number 11?
On both lists, before rewatching and after rewatch, is Captain Marvel. Okay, this is the movie that I thought I was not a fan of before rewatch. I still don't like absolutely love this movie. It's really fun though, and it's grown on me for sure.
It's still definitely like
It's still definitely the bottom,
The
but it's not.
but it's a good movie.
And yeah, it's a good movie, and it's not by like that much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a good movie.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's a fun movie.
It's a lot more fun than I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun trip to the 90s.
I just want to see Captain Marvel fully powered, and we will. So
Yeah, we will.
because we only see it for like 5 minutes in the game.
Yeah, but that's our brief thoughts on why it's at the bottom. So at number 10,
And number 10 on both lists before and after rewatch is Guardians Volume 2. I
Yeah.
love Guardians Volume 2.
I love
It's a-
Guardians 2 so much.
it's a really good movie.
It is a very good film. It
once
definitely
again, like
has
every
its
other movie in
issues.
this phase, it has more issues than the first one.
Yeah, push it down.
I
lower.
remember when this came out, it wasn't as widely accepted. It was, I mean, because like it had the first one to live up to, and it's not the first one by any means, but it's still very, very fun.
It's very rare for a sequel to do better than the first one. And some movies in the MCU do that. 'Cause, I mean,
Captain America, Winter Soldier.
that's a big one. And I mean, some people can have their preferences of preferring the sequels because I mean, Avengers and Iron Man for you. So
Yeah, I do like Iron Man 2 more than Iron Man 1.
I do too.
That's typically.
But yeah,
how I
it's a
take
fun.
films.
Is it the best movie? No. Is it the first one? No. But it's very, very fun.
It is very enjoyable.
it has an enjoyable moments where you want to go back and rewatch.
Mostly just like that cast is so fun to
They
watch.
gel well together.
They are so good.
Yes.
So that is at number 10. At number 9,
At number 9, there's a gap between 10 and 9. It's not like a huge
Yeah.
gap, but there's a gap between. And on both lists, it's the same as Ant-Man and the Wasp.
it's such a good movie.
I also
You
very
were a
much
big
enjoy that
advocate
one.
for this movie
Honestly, if
because I hadn't watched it in a while.
I would honestly not be offended if it made it higher. That's how much I enjoy this one. But I'm okay with it here because it's tough competition.
It would have been higher than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a great movie. Really, everything about the villains is primarily what holds this down
Yeah.
for me. But even still,
Yeah.
the
But
fun of Ant-Man.
Everything that was good in the first one, they make better.
Yeah.
The action,
The action's incredible,
between
oh my gosh.
the relationship between the characters is what makes Ant-Man for me.
Yeah.
The comedy, they just dial it up and.
While I definitely vastly prefer
Yellow.
the first one,
Yellow,
the second
yeah.
one has
Yellow
some really
Jacket's Yellow Jacket's a better villain but like
and I
there's
think parts
things
of the
that
story,
just-
some parts of
Yes.
the story just feel like they're a little bit better in my opinion, but it's still great. So at number 8 is something that Logan is actually going to primarily say since he was not in this review. Because number 8,
Far from home.
Yeah, I wasn't in that one.
so Logan will give his quick score for it.
Shoot, what did I give Homecoming?
Higher up, like 8 point something. I think you said 8 point. You said 8.2 actually.
8.2.
I think so.
I like this one more,
I definitely
which
don't.
is a hot take.
Which is a hot.
But I respect
Which is
it.
a hot take, but not much more. I'm gonna give this one like 8.4.
I do too.
I'm giving it 8.4.
Yeah, Far From Home is just. It's fine. Like my opinion on it's gonna sour the more I think about it. But it's like I still think it's a good movie. I just have some problem with like how some of the plot points are set up.
I love
And-
Jake Gyllenhaal, so that's why I love this movie.
He's
Yeah.
a great actor.
I
I
also
think
very
he
much
is a
appreciate
great
it.
Mysterio, but it's like He called my invention barf, and that's my origin.
But yeah, besides that.
But his like motivation, not motivation, but like his plan and like and the actor behind him, top tier, for sure. But yeah, so Far From Home is at number 8.
Next.
At number 7?
This is the first.
Banger?
No. These are the same. 7, Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is still a great.
But no, in my personal
movie.
list, just because I'm a Doctor Strange person, I do have this easily 6. I don't put it above Thor Ragnarok, but I put it close.
Yeah.
But that's in my list.
Yeah, great movie, breathtaking visually. Is a great
one of
the
the best visually. That's one of the reasons I rank it so high.
Me and Luke were talking about this before I left to come here, and we said the 2 best visually looking in MCU, at least I can remember, is Doctor Strange and probably Guardians 1.
Space is cool.
Yeah.
Space is
but
cool.
yeah, Doctor Strange is
I would
great.
say Black Panther.
That's up there. But yeah, Doctor Strange is really, really good. If the film were better, I would argue being higher. At that point, I would say this is a good spot for it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now 6.
6. Oh, okay, here we go. So before rewatch, whenever we first started doing these, 6 was Black Panther. 6 on our list now is Homecoming.
Yeah.
I personally went this number 5, but I am okay with it being at 6 because I like this movie the most out of the 3 of us. Now, I think in the review I gave it a 9.5. I bumped that down to a 9.
Yeah. It deserves a significant bump because it's no 9.5.
No. But I still really love Homecoming. I think it was a great change of pace.
Villain is good. Love interest
I
sucks.
love the villain. I don't hate the love interest.
We didn't even remember her name until I just pulled that out of my butt.
Her name. I have to always.
What's her name, Logan?
Yeah, I would say what's her face.
Liz Allen.
The one who dates Klay Thompson.
And the only reason I remember
I almost
her name,
said Liv.
The one who dates Klay Thompson.
Now the only reason
Klay Thompson's girlfriend.
The only reason I remember that is because because her character was the love interest in Spectacular Spider-Man. That's the main reason I remember.
But you forgot about that too. She's a completely different character.
Because she serves more of a point in that show.
Right, and she's better.
Homecoming, I still really love. Like, I don't mind the love interest. She's not the best by any stretch of the means. Nowhere close.
Any stretch of the means.
Nope. I mean, yeah.
But
I still love the movie. It's a Spider-Man movie. It's a nice change of pace where it's like much smaller scale. It's just random crook stealing.
I got scared.
a crook stealing a bunch of tech. So I don't mind it. But anyways.
Because in my mind it's not. Are we ready for 5?
Yeah.
Because in my mind it's not. I don't even remotely put it above Ragnarok. It's 5 on both of these lists.
Ragnarok is dope.
Ragnarok is 6 for me on rewatch. It's fun, and I will not deny it being above.
Would you say that Thor: Love and Thunder has maybe ruined Ragnarok a little bit for you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yep, there you go.
That's the sad part. It's like I don't know. Now
you gotta put that out of your mind, man.
I can't though. That's the problem.
I can't unhear the goats.
Do it, man.
I can't unhear the screaming goats.
But while I do really, really like Ragnarok, it's just something about it, just on rewatch, just did not click with me as well. Now, I won't... See, I'm okay with it being a...
Oh, no, when this movie first came out, of these movies, I would have put it at like 3 or 2.
Yeah, absolutely, but...
When it first came out.
Yeah.
When it first came out.
Yeah, I will admit, there are more parts of this that were done better than Homecoming. It's just, I definitely do prefer Homecoming, but I'm okay with it being at 5.
You're a Spidey person.
Yeah, but... As my weird tells. But, I don't know. Ragnarok is still really good. It is a good movie. Deserves to be at 5. Now, number 4.
This is such a weird... 4 in the pre is Homecoming. Now it's Endgame. Okay.
Yeah.
4 you cover our necks.
Be happy it's as high as it is. Because, now, this is a top 3 for me. But...
Yeah.
I think 4 is a good place.
This movie being 4, dude, you have to remember what here. You'll see what we have.
The top 3
are 3 of the best.
Bangers.
Are 3 of the best.
I think.
I have to sit and I have to stop and I have to think.
2 of the top.
What's the problem with this movie?
2 of the top
3.
2 of the top 3 are my top 5.
Like Endgame, it's generous to be that high in some takes because I can immediately pick out stuff that I'm like,
And
that bothered me. I have to stop and think about
as we
it.
said in the Endgame review, there's nothing that was better than seeing this for the first time. But you can't let that cloud your vision of the movie as a whole. At the time, yes, we would all given it 10s, but there's recency bias with that. At the time, I gave No Way Home. I gave No Way Home a 10. Is it a 10? No, sorry, it's not.
No, I'm the same way.
You said that too. That you think it's something.
I also walked out of that movie. I was like, that's the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I said the same thing with Endgame, probably.
Yeah, but
because is it a bad movie? No, it's fantastic. It's amazing.
It's incredible.
It's fantastic. It's just
like you said, Logan.
You can't let
with the top three. You have to think a little bit like, what do I have a problem with? Endgame, I can think of a couple things. Right. Now, I still, as you guys saw in the review, I still gave it a 9.5 because of the experience of seeing that. But you can still nitpick.
You put a little bit more of the experience of seeing that than we did. But I completely understand.
And even rewatching it just now, having rewatched the entire MCU beforehand, just
I mean, you still get a little bit of that.
You still get a little bit, but. Yeah, so Endgame
that top three, you it's hard to
no matter how much we all love Endgame.
I know. Looking at this top three, none of them can. Okay, well they can. A couple of them can be moved around, but none of them can be moved outside of the top three.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, these are like
cracked.
Correct.
These are cracked.
I said correct.
These are three of the best.
I heard that too. To be fair, I heard cracked.
I said it very fast.
Okay, number 3 is. Are we ready for 3?
Yep.
3 in the pre-watching is Endgame, which fair.
Which we do also another thing we do also have to talk about is the fact that even though Jackson did leave his top 3, I think in the entire MCU, at least Infinity Saga,
Endgame was his 3.
Endgame was 3.
Civil War was 3.
No, Civil War was 3, Endgame was 2,
Infinity War was
1.
Yeah, okay.
Which, fair. I'll be fine.
Okay.
3 was Endgame in our pre
rewatch.
3 in our list now is Civil War. Civil War's fantastic.
It's
a
great movie.
It is
one of the only MCU movies I give a 10
It's one of the best story.
It's a great,
it probably
really adaptation of one of the best storylines.
It's one of, if not the best story in Marvel, just because you like the plan that Zemo has carries out throughout the entire movie, and it works very, very, very well.
It's so good, and it helps because of this once again an adaptation of one of the most iconic Marvel storylines ever, and they execute it so incredibly well. And while I have bumped No Way Home down from being a 10 out of 10, it's still like a 9.7 or 8. This is still one of the MCU movies I will stick to giving a 10 out of 10. But it's Civil War, great movie. But at number 2...
And number 2 in pre-rewatch was Civil War, and now we have Infinity War.
Yo,
I love this movie so much. This could
definitely be number 1.
This
I would be.
I would be like, hate it.
I really wanted it to be 1, but I'm okay with it.
We'll talk about
that when we get to 1. But Infinity War is, even thinking about more, is not only what I think is the best movie in the MCU, it's also probably still my favorite. Because I cannot think of anything I genuinely did not like.
Right, there's not much I genuinely like.
Yeah,
even
everyone talks about Endgame versus Infinity War. I don't think it's close.
Yeah,
nope.
I really don't.
It is
in terms of like watching in theaters, it's Endgame. Yes.
Yeah,
but even still,
it's different.
But even still, it's a different experience.
Because it's the same kind of thing as like the original Halloween movie. Like when I watched it, I'm like, that's not that scary. And my dad goes, "Oh, in theaters, dude, terrifying." Yeah, a theater changes your entire.
Yeah, when you're sitting in a giant theater full of strangers and you get the
and when we say full, we mean full. For Endgame, yeah. So.
And it's just an experience.
I don't think
that you
I don't think it's
match.
Okay, it's closer than I'm making it sound, but I don't think it's. I don't like it. It's Infinity War, and I don't think twice.
Yeah, Infinity War is what I think is personally. I think it's objectively the best movie in the MCU.
It very well can.
That's where I will stand by. Winter Soldier is probably tied, but I adore Infinity War. It probably is my favorite movie in the MCU just because
it's really good.
I have no problems with it. It is such an incredible movie, and I love.
That was my 10. Yeah, I said at the beginning I was going to have 3 10s, then I moved it to 2. That was my 10 that I took off.
Yeah. But while I personally still have this at number 1, I am with what number 1 is. I am okay with it because number 1.
Because pre-rewatch is Infinity War, but now it's Black Panther.
Dude, you want to talk about a jump? Bro, jump from
6
to 1.
The biggest movers on this were.
Yeah, it was a big mover.
Everything else was like 1 or 2 spots.
This was 5.
Everything else is 1 or 2 spots here.
I don't think it's so deserved. I think people are sleeping on this movie.
Homecoming is 2 spots.
This movie is praised, but I don't think it's praised enough. It's so good.
Yeah, it's like because of how much this movie means.
Even removing like Chadwick passing away a couple years ago.
Right.
This
It's
movie
still
is
such a
fantastic.
It's incredible. The performances in this movie,
Storyline performances,
the story,
music.
the plot,
Villain.
the soundtrack is incredible. The villain can arguably
be the best.
be the
And
best.
even the secondary villain's Claw.
And even if we're not talking arguably, Killmonger is still top 3 regardless.
Oh, yeah.
He's top 2
And,
regardless.
top two. He might not be
and
two.
Claw as a secondary villain for half the movie is still fantastic because Claw is cool.
Yeah.
It's got the best. It's got some of the best, if not the best, side characters with Okoye, Shuri,
Okoye, Shuri, M'Baku.
M'Baku.
M'Baku's great in this
It's
movie.
Black Panther was the movie that jumped up in like, dude, this movie is. Yeah, my top 3 was Infinity was not Infinity War.
I think this one worked its way into our top 3, didn't it?
It's in my.
I think so.
Avengers 1 is my
three
top.
is
Winter Soldier is my second. It's either Black Panther. I think Black Panther, Age of Ultron, Infinity War. I think it's my top 5, and I love it.
Okay.
No, this creeped its way into my top. It wasn't even in my top 5 before. This creeped its way into my top 3, and I adore it.
It is still probably top 10 for me. It's not top 5 for me, but it is still an incredible movie that means so much, especially on rewatch. It's such an important movie for the kind of cast it had,
and that's
for how well written.
That's why
everything
it's
about
so
it is.
important for this movie that comes out on November 11th, for them to kick it back into high gear like they did for Phase 3, because they've been slacking.
They need to end Phase 4 on a high note, because Phase 4 is...
Okay, some of the stuff is bad. Some of the stuff is overreacted. It's not that bad, but...
There's nothing yet that's
really
like absolutely blown me out of the water, like amazing.
This movie needs to be.
Yeah,
We're done with this list. We're just talking about it now. This needs to be. This could be one of the most disappointing, or one of the best.
And it really needs to be.
And it really needs to be one of the best because looking at their schedule, dude, they all look like good movies. But the thing is, they don't have a good track record so far in this phase.
Right.
They got to
which
keep it in the high
we
gear.
which we will touch on a lot more when we get to our Phase 4 ranking, which will actually be pretty soon, because we've already reviewed most of the movies in Phase 4. But the ranking will come once we review...
We're not ranking shows, are we?
Nope,
Okay,
we're just ranking movies
Thank
for
you
Phase
more,
4.
because there's a lot.
I don't want to watch all that.
We will rank shows when we eventually get to the shows, but I have...
Maybe.
Anyways, so thank you guys so much for watching our ranking of Phase 3. Stay tuned for next time, where after we review Black Panther Wakanda Forever in a little under a month, where we will rank all the movies in Phase 4. Be sure to stay tuned for our next review. This actually makes sense, because this video is going up after the Endgame review. So, but yeah, so stay tuned for the Phase 4 ranking after we do Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And stay tuned for the next MCU review, which will be Black Widow. You want to talk about a downgrade of MCU movies going from one to the next?
Okay, it's not bad, but it's disappointing.
It's not bad, but
it's not bad.
Could have been a lot more.
There
It's not bad,
are
but
good
it's
parts, there are bad
They
parts.
could have done a lot better with this film.
And the next,
by not releasing it
It's-
after she's dead.
and-
So we're actually going to take a bit of a shorter break, just now discussing it.
we've been going straight for a while.
We've been going straight for a while. We just finished the Infinity Saga, so I think that's a good place to get a bit of a break for now. So the next review is going to be Black Adam, and then after that, hopefully Armored Adventures.
I've always been DC, so let's be good here, Dwayne.
Yeah. So let's hope.
We'll
So
hope.
we're gonna take a short break from MCU
Dwayne
reviews to review Black Adam. Then after that, we are doing Armored Adventures.
Are you going to look that up?
No.
But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. See you later, my pets.